Did that work? It did. Yay. Okay. Nice. What a lovely day. All right. I am going to... Hey, Leo. Hey, Rolo. How are you? Happy Friday. Let's head to the Nexus so that we're ready to start here when it's time. Okay. I think we need to summon a ship. Yo, 85! I love the Chill No Man's Sky streams, and the stream with Cole yesterday was a lot of fun. Man, can I tell you guys some other weird magical things that have occurred? So like immediately after we both sent each other a message saying like cup is so full, or she sent me a message and I was like, I was just telling my stream that I felt so like, you know, I felt battery powered up rather than the other way around, and I loved it. And then we immediately scheduled another one for the 18th. We're gonna do it's as long as it's, I think it's a Thursday. As long as it's a Thursday, it's the 18th, right, of June. We're gonna do it at least once a month. So yeah, we just had such a great time. And then I went into her Discord just to say thank you. 18th is, yeah, so that's when we're gonna do our next one. I'm actually just gonna go ahead and no, let's do our routine, peeps. Do the routine. Be like a cat. All right, we're gonna go do our settlement stuff. No. We're gonna go do our nanites. Our morning nanites. Right? That's right. Oh, hold on. Okay, I had a message from Mergs that I immediately had to look at and make sure that everything was okay. It is okay. This song, guys, is called Dragon Spice Garden. Have you started the expedition? Not yet. I'm going to. I'm just doing my morning routine of going through and collecting our nanites and starting some going. Then I'm going to... Then I'm going to... Yeah, I know. You told me. Thank you.
Extreme Sentinel added.
Okay. I guess you just have to let me know that. Which is fair, I guess. Shouldn't there be some in here to pick up? I don't think I left any of these empty. Oh, I must have. Wait a second. Before we do that, we want to hit... Not that one. We want to hit... Is it 8? Or 9? Yes, 9. We're collecting some more just because I think... I actually can't remember. I think we're good. I don't know if we need any more. I'll start them going anyway, just because it's a good habit to get into, but I don't know if we need to go crazy about it, you know? I was watching yesterday's VOD and it once again reignited my need to play. Yeah, I had such a good time, guys. I am going to try the expedition today as well and see what all the hubbub is about. So we're just getting some... We're just getting some things first. What? Runic lens, okay. This thing is crazy good. Like, does it even ever get, you know, like overheated? I don't think it does. It's crazy. Crazy. Okay. Also... What was I doing? Your bases, right. We're going to go to Moldy, which doesn't have a picture yet. It would be helpful if it did. That would help me. Never go here. Why does the thing still exist? Because I can't delete the base because I can't find it. Right. Right. That's the one that's in the middle of a thing, right? Where is my... Moldy? Am I looking right at it? Ass Giant. Boneyard. Oh, you know what? There's Moldy. Wow. Should go there to check. Yeah. Hey, Wombax. We just visited your build yesterday on Kagro. And by we, I mean my friend Colo and I took her to go and take a peek at some of the things that were built. The only thing I am mildly bummed about yesterday, and by bummed I just more mean like it's kind of hilarious, is I went to take her on this tour and we visited like 3 places. I didn't even get to, you know, show her everything, but we were chatting a lot. And that's fine, you know. I'm so proud of it. It's very good. It is a very, very, very good. Okay, let's see. So I have tons more mold now. Oh, this is where it all is. Right. Okay, we're gonna add some more here. Oh my gosh, we have so much mold. It's crazy. Right, so you gotta switch the output slot and then it recognizes it. All right, we've got a lot of mold going.
Weather update. Storm
Like a silly amount. So we should be good. Hey, Sunshine, thank you so much. Wow, what? 55 streams. That's crazy. What? What is time? What is time? Okay, so now that we've done our mold drop-off, we're going to head to our settlements. We're going to do any pending requests, and then we'll go ahead and start the expedition. Hey, T, welcome in, welcome in. I love all these, like, custom emojis and stuff that I'm seeing by everybody's name now. That they let you use and display. It's very cool. Like the Final Fantasy event, where you can have the main story quest icon, you know, stuff like that. Very cool. Very, 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 very cool. Okay, let's see. Settlement management. Okay, obviously we're going to grant a holiday. I don't even need to read it. Holiday granted. Easy. The fishing pond has been upgraded, so we can visit the fishing pond. I've not looked at anything other than the fact that teams exist. Same. So, have you seen streamers can make their own event badges now? No? What does that even mean? That's so exciting. How many do you get a year? Surely they... Oh my gosh, that's so fun. Oh, that's so fun. We can do them for premieres and stuff on Table Story. I need a dumb badge. I need a reason to make a dumb badge. Oh my god. Oh my god, guys. Guys. It's gotta be Bigfoot, right? It's gotta be Bigfoot. Fishing pond or spa day. Okay, there is a building here. We're just gonna look. Wow, there are a lot of only B buildings. Ooh, let's look at this one. Is this the marketplace? Oh my gosh, that's awesome, Tom. Oh, that's so cool. We will immediately do that like NASA did. That's so cool. Mind control device? What? Why would we want to use that? Why would we want to put that in an upgrade for a building? Solar mirror. I mean, okay. I'm a little nervous about that, you guys. Supermarkets basically already do it. Yeah. I think the badges only work on the channel they came from, but still pretty cool. Yeah, that is pretty cool. Yeah, very, 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 very cool. Okay, we have done the upgrade here. Okay, and now we can head to... It's always the hardest part for me. It's remembering where I parked, and by where I parked, I mean where my building is. Biological facility. Is it this one? No. Not that one. Ooh, we've got like a lighthouse. Oh, overseer's office. Okay, cool. All right, we're going to head to our second settlement here. A lot of behavioral psychology goes into the layout of big chain supermarkets. Really? Ugh. I mean, I figured. I know that a lot of human psychology goes into marketing in general, but I didn't consider the layout of supermarkets as well. Oof. Well, I mean, I guess I would assume because they put like a bunch of snacks and things at the right at the checkout, which is the thing, but it's probably a lot more complex than that. I know that there's the whole illusion of choice as well, but not too many. You know, you want to have like a couple of brand options, but not too many, where they just don't buy anything. So that's kind of crazy. Okay, make policy decision. Okay, our advisors are divided. Each have their own agenda. We could invest in overhauling our maintenance systems, though the voices of those who believe in developing new industrial technology will not easily be silenced. Ooh, okay. Research commercial innovation or research new industrial units. I'm going to say innovation. Long distance exchange seems very cool. I don't know what it is, but let's find out. Oh God. Increases productivity. Okay, it's not necessarily anything we needed. I was more looking for happiness, but that works too. Wow, we still have worm infestation, cursed by the deep, targeted by thieves, localized gas outbreaks, and poisoned water. Okay, hey buddy, we will help you. We are doing our best. Don't leave yet. We have to... What do you mean? Happiness equals productivity? All right, let's upgrade this, finish this building upgrade, I think. What else do you need? Oh, you're ready. Reopen building. Nice. Biological facility upgraded to S class. Nice. Okay, let's see see what else needs to be upgraded here. I love looking over and seeing the food truck flying in the sky wherever we go. That's so cool. I mean, surely a lot of these need upgrades, right? Domestic unit? C class. Yeah, let's do that. Pure ferrite. All right. Upgraded a domestic unit. And then we only have one more settlement to visit. And then we can start the expedition here. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for that streak, Dave. Appreciate. Amaze. Okay. Let's head to this one. Request pending. I might pause and refill up my beverage as well here in a second. When they move stuff to a new aisle seemingly at random, it's so when you go to find your regular items, you get exposed to more different products. That's crazy. That's crazy. How big is your Corvette? I made it as small as I could without glitching. So 1 second, I'll show you. I'm pretty sure it is 1 hab unit long plus a half hab unit. And then there's one stacked on top of it. So two habs tall, I think. Okay, what's happening here? Oh, we'll just do this one, right? It gives us some settlement debt, but adds more productivity. I'm down with that. There is a large dwelling that was completed as well. Our debt will be cleared in an hour, so we're good. Oh my God, we have public laughing gas. Jesus. Don't look at that. All right? Don't look. All right, we're going straight over to this building. Why did I choose to upgrade a building all the way over here? Crazy. Okay. Open building. And that puts it at what now? E? It's C? Oh, we'll immediately upgrade that. Okay, I think what we'll do is we'll aim for like all of the C upgrades and upgrade those to B, and then we'll do all B to A, you know, like that. So it's easier for me to pay attention. Or we'll just upgrade whatever. Eventually they'll all get upgraded anyway, right? Okay, let me take off. I think I'm going to move the stairs in the back to give that front room more of a walkway. That is not what I meant to do.
Extreme night temperature detected.
Okay. Here is our Corvette. Keep in mind, Wombax, that I do plan to build another one. I think I want to do, I think it'll still be relatively small, but I just want to have a tiny bit more space to put things and move around. But right now, the food truck, I wanted it to be as small as possible so that it looks like a, you know, like a little tiny truck. So it definitely looks like it is actually only 1 hab, plus an extender, right? And then you've got the cockpit, which I don't know if that counts as that might be half of a hab in terms of size. But I do think it's 2 habs. 2 habs stacked. It's not 2 habs long. It's 1 hab and then a half hab, or the landing. It is 2 long. Are you sure? It looks like it's only 1. Looks like it's 1 and then it's a half. That's only 1 hab, isn't it? There are 2 stacked on top of each other, but I don't think... I'll have to go and check now, because now I think I'm going crazy. Because I mean, there's a doorway here, so I think Trans might be right. But it can't be 2 habs long because the doorway is its own thing. Like this is its own size. I might be wrong. Okay. I'll check. But I made it as small as I could. I don't think that's a full hab length, really. I think I did a half. Oh, that seems really small though. I don't know. Let's go to the Nexus. And, well, we could just drive really quickly to the space station and check and see what our build is. Unknown planet. Flourishing planet. Interesting. When you sit in third person on PC, you can hold Alts and look around. Yeah. Oh. Ah. We got rocked by a space station arrival. Wow, that was quick. That was quick. I'd also like to know, yeah, we're talking about it right now, so we might as well just take the time to go and do it. Because you know me, I'll forget. And I've been telling people it's the size if you want to build a truck is a full hab. So if I'm wrong, I definitely need to let people know. Hey, Sanborn. How are you? I had such a great time yesterday. Thank you for stopping by. Okay, we are right now trying to figure out the exact size and build of the Corvette. Because I've been telling people that our food truck is full hab length long. So, okay, this is the... I'm just going to delete it. Okay, how can I tell what it is? Will it tell me? Am I looking at it and I just can't see it? Cargo rack 9. Glass walkway. Yeah, but it's a walkway. It's not a full hab. But I think it's 2 halves together. I don't know why I did that. But I think a full hab would be the size of one of these, but let's just check real quick. Unless the walkway is the same thing. Let me just figure out how I pull the... Oh dear. That's fine. Yeah, okay, so that's a full hab, guys. It is a full hab's length, but I didn't use... I don't know why I did that. I put 2 halves together. Why did I do that? Do we know? Why? The half is called a walkway. Is it so that I could block off the walkway, maybe? I'm not sure why I have done this. I am going to... Oh, not do that. I'm going to store to the design for later. You know what? You did it because you could. Yeah, It's weird. I don't know why I did it that way, but that's fine, you know? Oh, I know why I can't put the stairs in the back. Because there's no actual hab above here. I don't think. Yeah. Okay. If we're to adjust our thing, yeah. That's why we did it that way. And I don't want to lose that very cool shape that we've got. Past PB had her reasons. Yeah, it looks like my reason was so that we could, you know what would be interesting is trying to design... I wonder if I can, like, duplicate this design and then make edits to a different... You know what I mean? Like, I just want to tweak what I already have, but I don't want to ruin our ship. I might just be crazy. I don't want to fuck it up, you know. Okay, let's go start the expedition. Do I need to do anything for do I need to bring anything or do anything crazy? Probably not, huh? Should we just start regular? Made it just in time. Yeah, Maz, we're gonna go. I love the Colo collab. Sanborn, we already picked another date, the 18th. So June the 18th, which is a Thursday, we're gonna do another co-stream. We've decided to try to just do them at least once a month, guys. That was so fun for us. Whether it's No Man's Sky or like a fireside chat. Holy cow, that was so fun. Make sure your multiplayer is turned off. Well, my multiplayer is on, but you can't attack me. But fair enough. I'll turn off my multiplayer here. Okay, now, do we want to go into the expedition dressed in our NASA time traveler vibe? I knew from the other day that you had two identical pieces lengthwise. I mistook them for halves. I'm really glad that, well, I mean, technically you were right, Trance. They're both the length of one hab, but I was just using two walkways. But it is good to know that, Moz, do you know what you used? Did you use one full hab and then something added to the end of it? Because I've been telling people that the food truck park has the length of one hab plus a half hab on it. And so hopefully if we make one full hab and the entrance thingy. Okay, cool. Then in that case, I think we're safe. I was wrong. Maybe someone else would make the mistake I made, though. Wrong terminology. Yeah. Hey, Hanny, how are you? How's it going? That was so Canadian. I would like to plant something here in my garden before we leave. What should I plant here? While I'm thinking about it, because I keep thinking like, oh, I'd like to put something there, and then I never remember. Nip nip? Won't that's illegal. I'll get in trouble. I'll be constantly, yeah. Also, Nip Nip isn't really food truck. I'm thinking like something that you would then harvest for food. If we're doing an ice cream truck, we would want to do Frostwort. Star Bramble might be fun. Nip Nip brownies. That's pretty funny. I could do Nip Nip, you know? Frostwort is good for glass. I want to make sure that I'm doing something in the food truck for food. I know that's silly, but whatever ingredient you probably use the most in food, which would be maybe this guy, the cactus flesh, or hoop flowers. Depends on what you would cook. Yeah, that's the other thing. I don't really know what I'm cooking yet. I don't have dioxide. What? That's not right. That can't be right. Oh, and I'm on a space station, so I can't. Okay, we're gonna leave the space station here. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh my God, Auntie! Hey! How are ya? Holy hot minute. If you're able to somehow disconnect the game from the internet as you start the expedition, I don't know if turning off multiplayer will be sufficient. What? What do you mean? What? What do you mean? Why? What is this expedition? I can't unless I were to... Well, actually... Oh, no. Well, wait. Yes, I can. I can just unplug the Ethernet from this computer now because we run a 2PC setup. What? Are we geniuses? Are we House MD? Are we Patrick Jane, mentalist? What has... For performance, multiplayer off before going into an expedition is good. Turning it off after might not help lag. You need to recheck your settings for PvP afterward. Oh, okay. Network. PvP, no one. Multi-chat disabled. If there are annoying bases, you can go in and report them and get them removed from your game. Okay. I'm gonna snooze that ad break real quick. And then we're going to... What was I doing? Why did I get in here? Oh, right. So that I could summon my freighter, which I think I can do from the seat. Okay. I think I can actually summon the freighter from the pilot seats. Perfect. Then we can... Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Then we can get up. And... then we want to do... Right, then we want to open our inventory and just be able to plant something. Okay, perfect. Frostwort now. Perfect. Okay, I've planted my things, and now we are ready to go for the expedition. All right. What is happening? What the... Oh, that was so scary sounding. Okay. What the hell? Super weird. Try that again. I don't know why it's like zoomed in like this for our ship. This should not be, should not look like this. Okay. Where'd the Nexus go? What is happening? What is happening? You know what? We're gonna let it do its little thing, then we're gonna re-hop in there. Hey Miles, how are you? I started with a fresh new save because the only issue I had was one of the quest locations. Someone had built so close to it you couldn't complete at that location. Oh, interesting. That was very odd. Let's see if it still does it. There we go. All fixed. Weird. Okay. All right, Nexus. It is time. Okay, so just reminder, I don't know anything about this expedition at all. Should I fill up my Covfefe coffee? Tired. I've been up all night. Sleep schedule is horrible right now. Oh my gosh, Miles, I'm so sorry. That is awful. What time is it for you? And can we do anything to help? 10 a.m. Oh, okay. So there's really nothing to do except try to power through the day, right? And then go to bed at like 8. Eesh. You be quick, sing a lullaby. Never. Never! Sorry, Miles. Okay. Let's see. So, okay, Expedition 22, Swarm. Swarm. Oh, okay. Start an expedition to go on a journey alongside the whole community. Okay. Same stuff. Should I bring anything, do you guys think, or should I just go into it? Here's the thing, is that every time we do this, I'm always like, gosh dang it, I wish I had brought this. Or no? Okay. So just go in knowing nothing. Hello.
It's a Bradley. Whoa, no.
And fam. You know what? I am convinced now, dude. All right. This is the third or fourth time this has happened where somebody will raid in and then Twitch is like, we're going to run ads. Yeah. Uh-huh. Sure. 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 I snoozed them. Don't worry, guys. Fucking, uh-huh. Uh-huh. No, I don't think so. What a coincidence. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Ah, fuck. How was your Crusade of Kings? I saw that that's what you were doing again today. I'm really glad you're enjoying it. It's almost like, I feel like it has similar vibes to this for me. Like Crusader Kings for you, you're just like chilling and enjoying it, and that's what this game is for me. I just get to relax and do whatever. We are about to start the expedition. I don't know anything about it, so we're going in knowing nothing. So welcome in. Select equipment. We're not gonna take anything with us. We're just gonna go. Yo, Sanborn, thank you so much for the bits. I appreciate. To thanks. All right, you ready? I should probably turn this music off just because expedition music is always very cool. Okay. Hello, world. Hello? Is it first? This is not the same for every expedition. I think this is different, or I can't remember this. It is last, I'm going with. Okay, anyone who told me, listen, I adore you so much, but I need somebody who is also, like, we don't need to worry about it because Kolo's going to be playing Subnautica next week. She cannot play this yet. Hello? Hello? She cannot do the expedition yet. All right, are we ready? Do I have
The things that I need.
Hold on, I think I do. Okay. I believe. First, last. It is fragmented. A formula for a soul. What do you think you are? A traveler or a player? Oh, is this what everyone was talking about with teams? Okay. I'm going to share with you guys what I'm choosing, and then you just choose the same thing if we want to be on the same team. I'm picking a traveler, obviously. It is part of the truth, but you are fragmented. Scenario. You are sleeping. What is it you dream of? Flying. Reuniting with the dead, being chased, failing a test. I dream of my family of glass, but the boundaries are cracking. Something is not contained. Scenario. It is the distant past. You have the power to prevent the birth of the first spawn. The calamity of Korvax Prime will not come to pass, and the Gek will never exist. Oh. Excuse me? Hold on. Was I right? Yo. Was I right about the expedition? I am not going to interfere with history, although I feel like I Prevent the Birth of the First Spawn is way more interesting to experience story-wise. I do not interfere with history. Okay, are we talking about... Okay, but here's the thing. Oh, cool. Now incoming ad break in 1 minute, guys, and I can't stop it. Twitch won't let me stop this one. Okay, here's what we'll do. I will break. All right? You'll enjoy this more, I think, if no one says anyway. Some of you want to. I can feel it. Yeah, nobody say anything. As a Doctor Who fan, I'm preventing the birth of the first spawn. Yeah, but the Gek will never exist? That's crazy, Drac. That's so Doctor Who coded. I know, but wouldn't Doctor Who try to stop you? Wouldn't the Doctor come back and try to stop you? Oh my gosh, Nurk, thank you so much for those gift subs. Okay, we have 5 seconds. An ad is gonna play. I can't stop it. So I'm gonna get up and get my beverage and I'll be right back. And then we'll talk about this some more. Everybody think about this for a second. In relation to the No Man's Sky, what would you choose? I don't want any spoilers for the expedition. All right. Do we need to be reminded of the calamity of Korvax Prime? Yes, we need to talk about all of these things. We need to talk about everything. But after I come back and get my coffee. The ads actually play. Twitch was like, we're going to play ads, but I actually don't know if it's happening. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. I have a little coffee bar right in the entryway of my kitchen now that I just built this morning. Okay. Let me read this. Okay? The first spawn. Hold on. I feel like I should do it like this. Okay. The first spawn destroyed the Korvax homeworld, their neural network, and enslaved them. And eliminated their unified consciousness. Do you choose to prevent the birth of the first spawn, thus freeing the Korvax in a sense? Their hive mind would then exist. Yeah, it made them what they are today. So the thing is are they currently at war today? No, they're not. So much time has passed since then. Also, the Korvax are I have some follow-up questions. Oh shit, the ad break is still going. Jeez. Because they got revenge on the Gek. Yeah, yes, they did. I have some follow-up questions. Do we sit here for another 30 seconds? Yes, we do. Then I will ask my questions. Also, your entire understanding of... Shut up, peeps. Hold on. Polly, I will read that in 26 seconds. I'm so into this, by the way. This is my shit. Does this mean we all need to start the expedition today and see what teams we're on? Because this is crazy. If it is we're on team prevent birth of firstborn, and some of us are don't interfere with history. I am so into that. That is so incredibly interesting to me. Okay, so your entire Polly says your entire understanding of the universe and your life path so far is founded on historical events happening as they have. Welcome back from the ad break. And then Tom Bacon said everything that they are now is based on, you know, what happened in the past. And philosophically speaking, that is where I sit. You know, in the park bench, in the park of life, I sit on the bench that is like everything that has happened to me has led to where I am today. And even those horrible things that have happened, and this is coming from like a diagnosed PTSD and CPTSD perspective, where I have changed my perspective on this. But I now sit at the bench that is, you know, everything that happened, even the terrible things that happened, they made me who I am today. And I wouldn't go back and change that, which is crazy to think about. I mean, it's fine to wonder about it and go, who would I be or what would I look like, you know, without that. But yeah, anyway, so interesting. But I think I read this while the ads were going. So if you missed this, I'll give you some context, okay? The calamity of Corvax Prime was when the Gek the Gek created the hive mind, correct? Of the Corvax, right? And enslaved them through it. Is that correct? They destroyed it. Okay, so they destroyed their hive mind, breaking them apart from each other, and then enslaved them. Exactly, Jovial. Purely from an RP aspect, I need my No Man's Sky guy to go through his War Doctor arc. I'm super interested in the game's text and dialogue, in what they have to say if you choose to prevent the birth of the first spawn. Because the writing in this game is, like, phenomenal. So I am intrigued on choosing that just to see what the game says about it. There's that too, right? Do you have the right to unmake every single Gek, Corvax, and even auto? So that was my follow-up question, because aren't the autophage, isn't their existence dependent on the calamity of Corvax Prime? Fair enough, Christine. That's why we exist. And also, if you are here to enjoy a slow burn playthrough of this game, welcome in. We are going to sit here and talk about this for a second before we dive in. The Corvax genetically changed the Gek later on to be the merchants that they are instead of belligerent. Yeah. So a couple things have happened in this lore that's really crazy. It's definitely linked to the Corvax. I can't recall if they're connected to the Calamity. I think that the only reason they exist is because some broke away from that initial Calamity. I'd have to double check on that, but I'm pretty sure the autophage exist in the way that they do because of that. And is it also that the autophage are still connected to the hive mind, right? So I think the autophage are what we're looking at if the first spawn never happens. Then it's just autophage and no Corvax. Because the Corvax we know today, no, they are divergent. Okay, Talon, do we know, well, but why are they divergent? Are they only divergent because, from the wiki, okay, these beings long forgotten were Corvax entities disconnected from the convergence. Okay, right. To escape from nothingness and undertake the long process of rebuilding. Okay. Autophage should be remnants that aren't connected like the Corvax are. The autophage were once Korvax entities, which have since become disconnected from the collective consciousness that is the Korvax convergence. Their disconnection is usually a deliberate act by the Korvax to purge divergent entities, although the destruction of the Korvax shell, or the body, in some cataclysmic event could also be potential cause of disconnection. Okay, so here's the interesting follow-up questions I have for this then. The convergence, the Korvax convergence is their hive mind, right? So does that mean that the first spawn eradicated the convergence, and then the Korvax were enslaved for a time, and then they've reconnected themselves to a hive mind and established their convergence again, and then through that they were able to genetically modify the Gek and change them to not be they should be connected to the original convergence, which they called the Void Mother. Okay, so I assume they aren't disconnections more recently. Okay, so I'm trying to understand, if we prevent the birth of the first spawn, then the calamity of Korvax Prime won't exist, but they will have never disconnected from the Void Mother, right? And I think they would have eradicated the autophage. Autophage are, yeah, no autophage is my assumption as well. Yep. So you're killing off both the Gek as they are today and the autophage as they are today. And then the Korvax would be something completely different. Ooh, this is so tough. I mean, morally, I know. I wouldn't interfere with it, I don't think. But that's so easy to say when you don't live in the world. You know? Prime directive, yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. As a bleeding heart, empathetic individual, that would be very hard for me to do. If I were in Star Trek, they would have to tie me down sometimes, I think. All right, I want to do a vote. I think I've made my decision as to what I want to do in the game. But I want to know, this is so juicy. Yep. Are you down? Don't threaten Mirror Universe Kira with a good time. Listen, okay, there are a couple episodes of Star Trek where I've straight up just been like, yeah, I wouldn't be able to not interfere with that. Or like when I'm watching a documentary, a nature documentary sometimes, and they're like, sadly, the mother has been murdered or died, and now the baby will starve. I'm like, no, dude, it's in your power to stop that from happening. Like, you are a part of nature, motherfucker. Like, and you happen to be there witnessing it. Like, you're not removed from nature. You are part of the ecosystem, for better and for worse. So you go rescue that baby, you asshole. Like, I get so upset. I say this not because of what I know or don't know. Yeah, no, I know. Everyone's being so good. Like, we don't really have to worry about that at all. Everyone's being super awesome about this. I saw a flamingo that got left behind because it had salt stuck to its legs. I can't, Wombax, I can't. And consequently, guys, I would be responsible for the eradication of something. You know, in my good-natured, I want to save this, you know, baby. I would end up accidentally saving, you know, something that's going to end up eating all humans or something, you know, like, I understand that you shouldn't fuck with that timeline, but I can't help myself. Okay, let's do a vote real quick. Let me just see if this works. It did work. Perfect. Because it's interesting, I'll point out the phrase, I dream of a family of glass. But, okay, so do we think that implies the autophage, right? And what is also interesting about that is how do we vote? You can just type 1 or 2 in the chat. 1 is prevent the birth of the first spawn, and 2 is I do not interfere with history. Atlas, mostly. Ah, yes, okay. Oh, no. Oh, no, you guys are choosing 2. Oh, no. Oh, no. I think I'm going to choose 1. I, personally, would choose do not interfere with history. But we are playing a robot. We're playing a robot. So I'm wondering if we don't go, yeah, we gotta prevent the birth of the first spawn. I also just think story-wise, like, and maybe this is, you know, maybe there's a tiny bit of, are you a robot? Yes. I mean, we've been playing as a Junk Monk robot. Yeah. I mean, not right now. Right now I changed myself to a traveler. And I did say I'm a traveler and not a player, but would that be beneficial to your robot? See, that's an interesting thing. You haven't even been initialized yet. Yeah, we don't know what we are, actually. That's a good point. Oh my God. Well, usually when you start an expedition, you look like the thing that you're, you know, what you don't, and you're loading in on your save. But I guess that's a good point. We don't know. But it does say I dream of my family of glass. Ooh, this is so interesting, you guys. And then the Vy'keen don't need to become a war-based culture. Okay, hold on. I think I need to... Let me put the vote in here. Because I forgot we're on a 2 PC setup and I haven't put the vote on the screen yet. Can you give me 2 seconds to do that here? I just have to open OBS real quick. On this computer and just see what the URL is, and then we will put that in there and then we'll go. So what I would like to do, I think, 1 is prevent, 1 is interfere, and 2 is prime directive. That's what we're doing right now. Those are our options. Now, what I think we should do is we should extrapolate as best we can what we think is going to happen based on this choice. Again, it's, you know, it's a chaotic ripple effect of consequence that we will have no control over, and there's probably really no way that we could properly gauge any of this, right? But we should try, and I think that will help us. So let me grab our vote URL here, which is easy. Perfect. Okay, and that should do it. It probably won't display the current one. All right, we're just going to close that real quick. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this off. And then I'm going to turn it on again. Yes, it's working. Perfect. Okay. Go ahead and cast your vote again, guys, or you can wait. I just opened it to see that it was working. I think we should try to extrapolate real quick as to what is going to happen. Nice. Okay. So the way I read this, hold on. Whoa. May I ask, will you continue to exist as you are outside the results of your choice? Like, if whatever you choose would affect your existence, will you continue to be the present you? We don't know, Postulant. I mean, obviously, philosophically, no. Because whether we, you know, if we don't interfere with history, then the chances of us being the same are good, right? If we interfere, we will not be the same. Period. You will not be the same. I don't know if the game is going to do that thing where it's like you're interfering with past and, you know, you still exist as you are, and then just another you potentially gets born, or you were never born, or you're now outside of what you've messed with, and kind of sort of removed from history, and now you're an anomaly, which would be super cool. But yeah, the way I read this is just a what if. It isn't actually asking you to interfere. Yeah, that's also interesting as well. Yeah, it depends on your theory of time travel and timelines, diverging timelines or one main timeline. Exactly. Although I think this game has really kind of hit on the multiple iterations, right? Which are the multiple timelines or multiple scenarios. But they all seem to have the same history, actually, I think. So it is a scenario. You have the power to... Oh, wait, maybe it's just like a psychological test. Okay. You guys have voted for me to choose 2. Is that because you guys are choosing the other one and you want us to be on opposite sides? Because that's also fun, and I'm fine to do that. I am game. Bam. I know we won't always get to do a widescreen view of the game, but my God. Please do what you find most interesting. So I think what I would like to do is think about if we prevent the... Because it's been so long since I've done this story, and they do... In the game, they do a lot of referencing to entities through things like Family of Glass. I'm assuming that's the purple stuff, which is the Atlantidium, which is autophage, but it's not. It's referring to the Atlas and not the autophage. So there's a lot of that happening in my brain sometimes, but I just want to get the facts straight. The Vy'keen became more violent culturally, not genetically, culturally, to combat the Gek, correct? First question. Second question. The Gek enslaved the Korvax. Third confirmation. The Korvax then re-hive-minded themselves and then genetically modified the Gek to make them what they are today. And 4, the Korvax actively try to hunt down the autophage and kill them. Are those all correct? It's just a trolley problem between Korvax and Gek. Yeah, absolutely. I love this kind of philosophy, though. I think it was to combat the Sentinels, but my lore is rusty too. I think I will be choosing I prevent the birth of the first spawn because it is interesting to me. I think I personally feel like, and there's probably a little bit of ego in here that needs to be removed, but I feel like philosophically speaking, that I personally stand with, I do not interfere with history. I fully believe like everything that has happened before has made me who I am today. I am appreciative of that, which is awful and hard to say sometimes, but I don't like all that. I don't want to reinforce what I already believe. I want to challenge that kind of stuff. So I'm more interested in choosing I prevent the birth of the first spawn. I want to do the thing that I disagree with personally. I don't think they GM'd the Gek. Yes, they did. The Korvax, as far as I know, the Korvax genetically modified the Gek so that they would be merchants rather than, and the Gek's like, we must get money and we must, sell things and blah, blah, blah. It's literally just like a tweak in their genetics for conquering. So just imagine the Gek's personality where they're like, blah, 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 and for trade and commerce, except that it's for, Also, Gek lore, the entities of the Korvax were not destroyed. The first spawn are benevolent. The first spawn are merciful. Slavery saved the worthless. Yeah, it's really bad, guys. It's really bad. First spawn are horrifying. The first spawn thought they were being merciful when they enslaved them. I'm also really interested. I don't know how they would do this. I'm sure this is just a trolley problem and this isn't actually choose a team. If it's choose a team, at the end of all of this, something happens in the game, I will lose my fucking mind, dude. Like, that is a really crazy choice to make, but very powerful, and I would not put it past this development team to do something this wild. And I'm gonna tell you, when Elite Dangerous, one of my viral videos on YouTube is me losing my shit when the whatever those were called arrived for the first time. And it's been like 10 years, and I get so many mean comments on that video that I almost like took it down. It's so many people being like, you're losing your shit, or this is a fake reaction, or whatever, or, you know, stop screaming and calm down, you need help, or whatever. It's a lot of that. And I'm just like, I don't know how to give you the context of nothing like this had happened in the game before. You know it's in the game now. But for us back then, it was bounty hunting, flying, parking. Like, it was when the Thargoids showed up. That's right. Now it's like Thargoids everywhere, right? But man, we did not know. We were like one of the first people to run into the Thargoids, dude. And it was like, it was like so cool. We're flying, and then all of a sudden we're getting interdicted by aliens. It was crazy. And I just remember being like, oh my God. And then thinking like, oh, this was a really cool opportunity for them to completely change their own lore, but have community involvement. And they kind of, they lost the ball. They dropped the ball on that one. Lost the ball. You know what I'm saying? They dropped the ball on that one, which is a little bit of a bummer. So now that I see it here like this, I'm like, oh, right. You were one of the first hyperdictions, weren't you? Yes, we were. Yeah, Kirsty. Anyway, I just leave it up there, and I don't really look at it anymore. I try to explain every once in a while. I get to a comment. If it seems nice enough, I try to explain like, hey, for context, we were one of the first people to ever see this. So yeah, of course I'm going to lose my shit. And also it was 7 months of like nothing like this ever. So if it's like, it's a full example of, if you don't know what's possible in the game, you know, of course, when aliens come to get you, it's like, wow. The internet hates women being excited. Yeah, and also I didn't have a good compressor at the time, so fair enough. It does blow your ears out. It's really loud. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I think I'm gonna choose I prevent the birth of the firstborn, because that's super interesting. And I'm also very intrigued to see what happens because we don't do that. You know, which we probably won't. It's probably just a psychological question. Oh, let's go. A decisive choice. I am learning which fragment you are. 1 of 3. Scenario. You meet an artificial life form. They do not know they are artificial. Do you tell them? No, they are happier not knowing. Or yes, they deserve to know the truth. Yo! Let's go! Okay, thoughts and feelings, everyone. Again, don't relate this to the expedition at all. Please just keep this in the philosophical sense. What are your thoughts and feelings on this? Colo and I never would have gotten past this. We would have just talked about this the whole time. We never would have started the expedition. I'd tell them. Personally, I'd right click. Okay, can I ask you both a follow-up question that you do not have to answer? My question is, who are you to decide if artificial is still like a living life form, and what truth is in relation to that? Because I say I'm biological life form. I don't. It's not my place. Yeah, I'm just curious. Because I'm a biological life form, right? And if I met somebody that was an artificial life form and they were trying to pass off as a biological life form and they didn't know that they were like a replicant, full replicant, you know, that I feel like that context changes it. I'm with Tom here. Context matters. Generally, I wouldn't say, but if they're becoming dangerous based on the false information they hold, then maybe. You were adopted. I've decided you should know. You know what? Flick brings up a really good point. That's kind of similar, isn't it? I really struggle with the absolutes. I struggle with they deserve to know the truth. Because I believe in that as a distant star. I believe in that as a concept. But what is deserve and truth in this context, right? Like hold on, let me finish this thought. They deserve just as equally to be happy, right? Or live their life the way they want to. How do we know that they're happier if they don't know? We don't, right? Hold on, actually, Flick just gave me a thing. Yes. They deserve to know the truth implies the truth is universally empowering when it absolutely isn't. The truth can be everything but. Misery is not made noble by being truer in one lens rather than another. That's incredible. That's incredible. Let me read it again. They deserve to know the truth implies the truth is universally empowering when it absolutely isn't. The truth can be everything but. Misery is not made noble by it being truer in one lens rather than another. Why do we feel the need to alter their reality? So I think I'm a believer that knowingly withholding the truth is a disservice. I think I'm along the same lines, Trance, if it's okay, let's use an example. This is an off-the-wall example. But I'm going to use it because I think it will help. Truman Show problem? No, that one's easy for me. Off-the-wall scenario. Murgles, okay? Married to Denks. Denks cheats on Mergs. In a drunken stupor, huge mistake, feels horrible about it. Calls me, tells me about it, is crying, is like, I would never do this again. Please don't tell her. Right? I need to make this real for me in my real life so that I can figure out how I feel about it. It depends on your relationship with them. Are we strangers making choices about their lives, or do we know them in some way? Exactly, kitten. So that's why I'm using this example of like my BFF, who's very happily married to the love of her life. And then I'm adding the extra context of absolutely in a drunken stupor makes this mistake and regrets it immediately. I have strong feelings about cheaters. Yeah. And is extremely apologetic and like crying. Because obviously if he's unapologetic, or he was like not, drunk or inebriated, then my answer is immediately an easier one for me, right? That is still through your lens of loving her and wanting the best for her. It's also through my lens of knowing her and knowing what she would want, right? If you don't tell Mergs and it eventually comes out and she knows you didn't say, right? There's that whole element to it as well. I mean, I would tell her. Sorry, I would tell her. I would tell her. But that's because but the reason I use that example is because it's like immediately. Yeah, actually what I would do is I would say to him, I was like, you need to tell her or I will do it. But you need to do it. And I know it sucks and it's going to hurt, but you got to tell her. If he really, really felt badly about it and was, then he would do that, right? He would try to make it right. So yeah, I think, but it brings up an interest. What would you tell a stranger? I do think I'm that bitch. I do think I'm that person that is like overhearing somebody shit talk his fucking girlfriend, before she arrives, and I'm like a waitress. I'd never met these people. I saw this video like recently where a waitress heard okay, hold on, back up. A couple where she was serving a couple and the guy got up and went to the bathroom And then she said, hey, I'm so sorry. But I just wanted you to know that before you arrived, your partner was on the phone with someone and he was saying some heinous things about you, like just absolutely horrible things about you. And the girl did not react very well at all. She was like, you're a stranger. Why is it your business? What did you think was going to happen from this? Blah, 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 blah. And she was like, I just thought you would want to know the truth. I would want to know. So I, you know, and she's like, right, you would want to know, but you don't know what I want. So stay out of my business. And I was like, oh, holy shit, dude. But like, it's an interesting point. It's an interesting point. Yeah, I don't know. So basically she was at the table saying, I would be happier not knowing. Why did you feel like it was the need? Because you would want it. So it was a selfish thing you've done. And I'm just like, blah, blah, blah. Oh my gosh, Redbeard says, my brother and sister were close to 50 years old when they learned they have an older brother. Me, this happened about 2 weeks ago. Congratulations. My brother seems happy. I haven't talked to my sister yet. Us, very complex things and feelings, right? I would too, but it does get murky. I was thinking about religion. I don't believe in it, but do I need to dismantle someone else's belief system? Well, okay, so here's the thing, Lily. I feel like that's not... ooh, this gets very tricky. This gets very tricky. Here's what I will say about religion. I don't think that we have irrefutable proof one way or the other, right? Like, I'm an atheist. I don't believe there's anything out there, but also if crazy evidence occurred, then sure. But so that's not truth, right? That's belief. A truth, and I'm using air quotes here, is like you're an artificial life form, and we know that to be factual, maybe. So yeah, if the truth is the actual truth and not something that is opinionated or subject to interpretation, I'd err on the side of going with the facts. Yeah. So maybe it's like this is factual. Also, there's an interesting concept in... There's this thought problem, right? This thought experiment where it's like, yes, they deserve to know the truth, or no, they are happy or not knowing. And then taking it a step further than that and going, why do we believe fundamentally, societally, that truth or living by the truth will make you happier or is better? You know, there's a whole way that we have evolved and the way that we are where we care about that. But if we didn't care about that, if you remove that piece, then all of this changes. And it's just interesting to think about. Ignorance is bliss. It's not even that, Rolo. It's this idea that we want we as the human condition, we want answers. We want something to be finite. We want a black and white answer. It's very difficult and very scary for us as a human being to not know. That's why we're constantly trying to answer our own questions. We are a curious being by our very nature. So we often will default to going, oh, there is an answer to this equation. There is an answer to this question, and it is the truth. And it is better for us to constantly seek that truth. And it is better for us to constantly try to figure that out and live by that, right? Did you tell Artemis they were in a simulation? I did. But here's why. Because Artemis wanted to be a traveler and explore worlds. And that was their one dream and one hope. And I felt like I knew them well enough to know that they would want to know they were trapped inside one system forever, and they will never see another system ever. And I felt like the game did a really good job of letting you know their dream and their hope. And basically it's like you will never get to have your dream because you're in a fucking simulation, dude. You're trapped in a box. So that was the reason behind my decision, and it was a very difficult decision. But yeah. I internalize this question. You meet someone who's autistic and does not know. Do you tell them? That is an interesting way to put that, Flick. The real question to me is it your place to tell them? Yeah, that's so interesting. Sometimes kindness isn't the best thing for someone. Yeah, it's really tough. It's really tough trying to figure out, you know, what someone would want, right? I'd argue no matter which option, you are essentially deciding what's best for the life form, especially how it's worded here. Oh, 100%. It's putting us in that position, which we shouldn't even be in. But this is such a binary question when the answer should be facilitating their exploration and finding out if and when they are ready to find out on their own. Obviously, Percy, but, you know, part of the thought experiment is trapping you into making one of these hard choices. Is it your place to tell them is so interesting to me, Flick, because I feel like it's obviously depends entirely on the individual, and it also depends on whether you as the person telling them the news have any sort of negative connotation in the idea that being autistic is bad or something that you should hide from someone. You know, when finding out that you are autistic, or, you know, you have PTSD or whatever, a lot of people will argue, oh, that's just a label. And personally, from my personal experience, I found it so much easier when I did know. And I was like, oh, Jesus, that explains why I'm this way, or why I do this, or why I have this reaction. So, and my sister as well. My sister didn't get diagnosed until she was an adult, dude. And she's just been like, oh, it's been like a wave of relief as she like learns how to navigate now with that information and with that knowledge. Again, that's my personal experience. That's her experience. That's me as an older sister watching someone struggle through childhood and then seeing the relief. And now that's my bias. Like I don't know if I can make that. I don't know if I can do that in an unbiased way, but like, I don't see the problem with being like, you know, obviously there's the whole issue with being an armchair doctor or whatever, but I don't see the issue in saying to somebody like, oh, you know, like my sister does this as well. Like, have you ever been tested for this? Or, you know, have you considered that you might be on spectrum? Because again, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So for me, there's nothing to hide. There's nothing shameful about that. So I would definitely be like, I think you, especially if the conversation is like, I do this thing and I don't know why I do this thing. You know, if it's just like out of the blue, then yeah, that's weird. But yeah. Yeah, if we contextualize this question again within the setting, artificial life forms are ubiquitous and thrive alongside others. You meet an artificial life form is framed as a new interaction, a new person that you don't have a prior relationship with. My assumption is, barring some exceptional circumstance where the lack of that knowledge is actively harming them, it's just 100% not my place to cast myself as their savior and be the one to tell them. Yeah, I think I don't know if I don't know how I feel about, you know, the savior aspect or the one. Again, I think if it were a conversation I was having where they're like, I don't understand why I feel this way, or if they were confused about their identity in any way whatsoever, then I think I would just casually bring it up and be like, well, have you considered checking to see if you're an artificial life form? Because you might be. You know, and I do that actively in conversation when I think somebody strikes on the PTSD or CPTSD spectrum. I will absolutely, especially lately, if they're talking about ADHD and they're like, oh, I have this and I have that. And then they maybe have one thing that is not on the ADHD spectrum, but it's on the PTSD spectrum. Then I will And the way that I do it is I'm usually like, well, in my personal experience, like when I went to the therapy and I got my diagnosis for PTSD and CPTSD, my therapist told me not to bother going to get an ADHD diagnosis. She said I could if I wanted to, but that I would most certainly test positive for it. I would have ADHD. They would give me a diagnosis. And she said, and you may not have it. It's just that the crossover between the symptoms of CPTSD, PTSD, and ADHD are so similar. They have a lot of crossover that you will flag. So, you know, it's like, ooh, okay, you know, you might not have ADHD, and the whole internet's talking about it, and I think that's really good because it's helping a lot of people, finally, for the first time, that knowledge, right? So I will actively do that. I'm thinking very recently of a conversation I had with somebody where, you know, they were like, my ADHD, but I do this thing and that's not quite ADHD-ish, or, you know, my doctor says that. And I'm like, it's not ADHD, but it is something I deal with personally. I don't have ADHD diagnosis, but I have a PTSD and diagnosis. So maybe, and then, you know, just letting them deal with that information and take that and go. You know, I would never be like, you know, I think you have PTSD or CPTSD or whatever. I just make it about my experience and go, okay, well, but I don't have this one, but I experienced that also, and I have this diagnosis, if that is helpful to you, you know, that kind of thing. Is this not the plot of Blade Runner? It is. It absolutely is. If God was real, would you want them to tell them that you were created? Okay, I have so many follow-up questions for that. Ooh, that's an interesting thing. If God was real, would I want them to somehow let me know that they were real? Because that's essentially what you're asking me. Wait, no, it's not. No, you're asking me, does me being created change anything? So I have a really weird feeling on this, I think. With all of my osmosis from Blade Runner and all of my favorite, you know, forms of sci-fi and fiction, I am twofold. I don't think me being a replicant, if I was artificial human made to experience life as a human and pass secretly as a human, I would not want to know personally that I was artificial. And two, I don't think it changes my experience of existence at all. If I found out I was in a simulation tomorrow, it doesn't change really much of anything for me except for a couple of like navigational or mechanical things. My experience is still real. I'm still experiencing it. I'm still feeling these things. Like I am still real in as far as that. And I'm using air quotes for real for those listening only on audio. But like that's still a valid experience. That's still a valid existence. You know, if I can even use the term valid there, but you know what I mean? So like, but at the same time, I was designed in a way to experience life as a human. So I don't necessarily want that information. So if I was in a simulation, I don't know if I want to know that I'm in a simulation, but maybe I do want to know. I don't know. I think I would want to know, maybe. It might make things a little bit easier, to be honest. Anyway. I'd 100% want to know. Yeah. Yeah. That's another thing. Does this life form come from a society of artificial life forms, or are they one of a kind replicant type deal? Well, I'm assuming this question is asked in the context of this lore and this universe. So as Trance said before, artificial life forms, oh shit, guys. Hold on. Is this not actually already in the game? Don't we meet someone that is not alive? And you are given the option to tell them that they're dead or not? And it's not just this, it's not just, hey, you're in a simulation, right? It's Artemis. That's not the, is that the one that was, sorry, hold on. It's the first thing that we do. Whoever brought up Artemis before, I think, was pretty on point. I missed it. I'm so sorry. Would you mind saying it again? Clark's entire reality was 1,000% shattered due to the revelation, but that was maybe karmic exchange in some people's eyes. That's also a little bit different, Flick, because there's so much hatred around that existence, right? Whereas here in this universe, artificial life forms, super dope. They don't care. They're not being hunted actively. And it's the question of what did you tell Artemis about being in a simulation and being dead? See, okay, but Trance, that's so interesting. Because I feel like I know them, though. I feel like I knew that's what they would want. And it was a hard decision. But like my other friend, for example, a friend I have in real fucking life, dude, I would never tell him because he has said time and time again, load me up, hook me up to a fake reality, singularity. Look, you know, boot me up, load me in. I don't care. I don't want to know that it's my 18th time through it. I'm like, you're crazy. You know what I mean? So it's like, oof. I knew that I had siblings for 17 years. I chose not to tell them. It was not my place to do so. It was my biological mother's choice. She chose not to as well because, well, reasons, I think. Okay. Redbeard, first of all, thank you for bringing a real life example to the table that we can think about. I don't know you well enough to really, you know, comment on that, but I will say, I think I disagree with that it wasn't your place to do so, because you are their sibling. You have a right and a place there as well, in concept. I don't know obviously all of the other context. Okay, but just from that alone, I'm like, oh, what? Of course it is. But there's probably context as to why you chose not to do that, and then also biological chose not to. The answer for me comes down to the advantage of what advantage telling them will. If I have a strong suspicion that it will improve their lives, doesn't matter what the condition is, then I would tell them. If I don't, I won't. Yeah, I expected a simulation to be more comfortable. Wait, what is that from? Murgles! I don't think I'd want to know. Once I knew I wouldn't ever be able to feel the realness again and would reduce my life to passing time in a place of falsehoods. Yo. Mergs, that is wild. I need you to know that I don't care if I found out this was simulated tomorrow. There is no way I would ever use the word falsehood in relation to any experience I've had with you, any feeling I've had in relation to you. Ever. If you tell Artemis, you let them die. Yeah, I definitely, that's from Kirsty, 2026. This is pretty deep for a random Friday morning, I know. To deny somebody truth denies them the opportunity to express agency and autonomy. You choose for them more by deciding that you can determine what they are entitled to know than by allowing them to choose how to respond to it. Polly, you're making the same decision. You are taking their agency either way. Just FYI, when you're like, hey, I am denying them the agency and autonomy, you're still choosing for them by giving them the information as well. Right? Like, I personally think it's dangerous to remove that responsibility from the equation. You are still choosing. You are choosing to say or choosing not to say. I mean, yes. Either way, though, you're still making a choice for them. Who am I who do I think I am to make any of these decisions? I wonder who can decide whether someone can handle the truth or not. Yeah. It's a trolley problem. You're deciding if it's more moral to act with potential harm or not to act in an attempt to preclude yourself from the situation. I think it's important to know someone well enough to know what they would want. I think so too, Kitten. I also think it does us a service to think about where your actual desire is coming from, where your decision is coming from, and to remove your own feelings from it, if that makes sense. So let's use an example. Are you telling them? Let's back up. How will you feel if you tell them? How will you feel if you don't tell them? Is your decision in any way being influenced by the guilt you might carry by not telling them? Are you selfishly motivated? Do you want to tell them so you don't have to carry that burden? I'm not saying that that's like the only reason, but that could be playing a part, right? Bad either way. Yeah. Shitty either way. But I think recognizing like where our feelings are and what our feelings are in relation to that. Or do you not want to tell them so you don't bear that responsibility? Yeah. So that you don't have to confront or be uncomfortable, right? Are you avoiding it because you think that you would, because you don't want to have that confrontation. You don't want to see them sad. You don't want to upset them. You don't want whatever. I think it's really important to think about those things and think about what your feelings are in relation to telling them or not telling them to help you make the decision responsibly, I guess. Unfortunately, being alive and having relationships means you will always bear some responsibility towards those around you, whether or not you believe logic absolves you. Yeah, yeah, bro. In the past decade, I found most people don't have any interest in acting according to that. According to which, trans, I'm so sorry. Let me expand the chat here so that I can see more of what people are saying. You are choosing to say or not yes, and that denies them the agency to decide what to know in both cases, but you deny them the opportunity to respond by not telling them, but not by telling them. I mean, okay, hold on though, Polly. Polly, you are making the decision for them either way. You are denying them an agency in either form. I'm not saying that you're like wrong to choose what you're choosing. I'm just saying it's really important to remember that they're, because, and I'm not saying that this is you. I'm not saying this is you. I'm not saying this is you. I'm just going to say that 3 times to make it explicitly clear. But it gets really dangerous when you allow room for moral superiority to get wrapped up into your decision. Right? And when you're like, I think that's all that needed to be said there. I think it's important to look at the situation, go, I'm taking their agency away either way. It's a shitty situation. It sucks either way. I am making a decision on their behalf. I'm just going to do the best thing that I can do. Because either I can't communicate to them, they're a stranger, they don't know, whatever. I'm doing my best. I'm doing either, and you either go based on what you would want, and that like truth, it's like telling someone a spoiler. Yeah. What a crazy example, dude. That's such a good example. I think it's so personal. I'd want to know because I'd feel more comfortable the more understanding I have, even if it shakes me initially. I trust I will be better for it, right? Yeah. There are some things in my life that I wish I had never been told. Like, I would have been fine if I had never been told that information. Like, okay, I did not need to know that. I don't think that's ever going to affect me at all. But it probably has in some way or another, I'm a kid spawned through a very likely extramarital affair. There are siblings as well who I never met so far. Even though I'm insanely curious, I don't feel I would throw a potential wedge into something they've built just to sate that curiosity, even if you could argue it's deserved. Oh, geez, Shadow. Okay, well, their decision to fuck around and find out affected more people than just them. So that's a consequence that is no longer in their control. And I don't think it's fair to you to say that It's just your curiosity that's driving you, you know? Like, I think it is very noble of you to want to respect the thing that they have built, but they broke it. They did it. Not you. Not your siblings. So, do you give people trigger or content warnings? I personally don't look. So okay, the onus is on you, the individual, to look up your shit. So I don't look stuff up for myself, but as a streamer, I'll be like, yo, look stuff up. I won't say exactly what it is, but I'll say, I have heard that this game has some things, and if you need to look some things up, do that. And I don't read the warnings in books either. Like, but that's just the way that I consume media. But I do think the onus is on you, the individual, to protect yourself in that sense. The onus is not on everyone else to do it. That's a time when familiarity comes into play, to inform them if we feel right to tell them or not tell them. Exactly. Like, for example, if I was like, hey guys, I'm going to play this game, blah, 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 and you knew it had an anthropomorphic pigman that is like my absolute worst fear, would you be like, yo, PB, hang on? And what would you say to me? Would you say, don't watch it? Or would you say, hey, I think you should look up the warnings on this? Or would you just straight up tell me, hey, there's a pigman in this. Don't do that. I will tell you that the people closest to me go, you don't watch that. I'd say oink. Yeah, I people very close to me go, don't watch that. And I go, oh, okay. And usually it's like, oh, is there a pig? And then I ask, I'm like, is there a pigman in it? Or is there something in it that I, you won't like, okay. I personally would prefer if someone was like, I think that you should look something up first. I'm fanatical about avoiding spoilers. So am I. So I think that's just a personal... Looking up content warnings requires someone to post the content warnings. So you not telling them only works if someone will. No. I mean, as a streamer, I don't go... Because here's the thing. I feel really strongly about this. I think sometimes just bringing up the spoiler warning ahead of time will stress some people out. Depending on what the spoiler is, it's just going to cause stress and harm no matter what. So I would rather, especially when it's a group of, people that I don't know and I cannot see, it's easier for me to say, hey, this game has some themes in it that are pretty intense. So if you need to look anything up, do that. Go do that right now and make sure that you're good. I don't know what they are. I'm not going to look them up personally for me, but I've heard that there's some crazy shit in here. So go and do that. But I'm not going to say what it is. Because I don't know and I don't want to know. But even if I did know, I probably wouldn't say the thing. I don't want to cause the anticipatory stress, And that is only very specifically in the streaming scenario, right? Obviously, if it's like a book or something, I would say, hey, but yes, as the author, include that shit. That makes sense to me, right? But you don't have to look, but it needs to be provided there for you to know, but you don't have to read them, if that makes sense. So exactly what Drac was saying, you need to be able to have the content warning somewhere for you to look it up. But you can skip that first page if you don't want, Okay, I am going to say no, they are happier not knowing. I think. I think there's too much ego and they deserve to know the truth and I know what's best for them. It's the same thing. I know what's best for them. They're happier not knowing. But, oh God, here we go again. What is truth? What are you? Scenario. You witness a Vy'keen cub being forced into battle. It is shivering, afraid, and wounded. This ritual is traditional, a requirement for transition into adulthood. I decide this is wrong and rescue the cub, or I respect Viking culture and leave them. Weren't we just talking about this? Hose. Weren't we just talking about this where I was like, I can barely watch documentaries when they let the fucking cubs die? And I'm like, no, you can stop it. You're a part of nature. Fudge! You fucked me up with that movie. Listen, I'm mad at you, but not actually. You know what I mean? Like, thank you for that. Thank you for that film recommendation. But also, respectfully, fuck you. Oh. It's part of my culture to help scared cubs. Oh. Being forced, no question for me about this one. I need to shake Sean's hand. Guys, wait for Light No Fire. If you think for a second there isn't going to be a whole bunch of philosophical shit in this game where you are with your friends in the middle of nowhere and you go and explore together. I can't wait, dude. I'm losing my mind. What movie? Sentimental Value. Sentimental Value. Okay. Sometimes you don't find out what you're capable of until you are forced to face the fear. Yeah, you're fucked either way on this, because you rescue the Viking and you are essentially removing them from their herd, their family. They will be extradited and they will be excluded from everything as well, right? They're just going to be like yeeted from the Viking culture, and they may be grateful for that. Ostracized at least, yeah. They wouldn't be considered a Viking adult, right? So they'll be ostracized for the rest of their life, which they may be grateful for, or they may hate you for it. They may hate you for it in the beginning, but then be grateful for it. Are you ready for my example? Are you ready for my real world example? Everyone should go watch the documentary. Mergs, what was it called? We just watched it recently. It's so good, guys. It might be one of the best documentaries I've ever seen. And it didn't start that way. It started and I was like, oh, this is going to be fucking crazy. And it ended up being amazing. Or they may die because you decided to help them and they were no longer part of the tribe. Or they may die because you don't help them and they die in this fight. You know, like there's so much. And thank you, Silver. Yeah, there's so much to consider here. But the documentary was called, it's on my list, one sec. No, we just watched it. It was the cult one. And okay, I'll tell you guys the premise, right? Trust me, the false prophet. Thank you. Mergs has our back. Trust me, the false prophet, okay? Here's the thing. A woman who was previously in the Church of the Latter-day Saints and was victimized by an individual, like narcissist, like cult-like person on an individual level, returns home and is going to do a documentary on her, like, you know, that lifestyle, that religion, you know, that kind of stuff, and accidentally finds herself in a situation where she's witnessing some severe abuse, and she decides to befriend and then turn everyone over to the cops, right? I'm trying to avoid saying the specifics because it's triggering, but there is a moment where she goes there. She says this multiple times where she says, I don't want to, they trust me. When I do this, they will never trust anyone again. I'm going to break them in a profound way, but I have to do it. They are going to hate me forever. Maybe one day they won't. Maybe one day they will realize. But I have to do it anyway because it's the right thing to do. And she says it multiple times, and I'm like, God, that I do not envy her. That is really hard, especially when you're there. You know, kind of knowing that it's happening, and also they don't want to be rescued. And again, everyone should go and watch the documentary, but I will say there is a moment where one of the women that was rescued absolutely fucking hated her and was like, I hope you die and rot in hell and I never want to see you again. And then years later reaches out and is like, thank you. I didn't know I needed to be rescued, which is fucking crazy. But to make that decision, this is making me emotional, to make that decision, not knowing if she was ever going to have that realization is crazy hard. This is obviously different. This is obviously slightly different. I think this is more like the Klingon in Star Wars than it is that example specifically. Because in that example specifically, it's like, you know, people who know better, who are purposefully manipulating the system. What did I say? Did I say Star Wars instead of Star Trek? Listen, guys, okay? I'm like, go see a Star War, all right? Actions have consequences, y'all. I know. Polly jumping out of the screen. Polly murdering me. Every man in this room just broke their keyboard. Listen, I should break my keyboard, okay? I should just cancel the stream right now and never speak again. This makes me think of a time where a relative of mine had a situation where they work at a hospital and a kid and their parents came in because the kid was sick. And it turned out she needed surgery, which required a blood transplant. But the family religion did not allow for that. So the staff could either disregard their parents' wishes or let the kid die. And it was a whole ethical debate among the staff. What did they choose? Because I think I have an answer for this. I think that pony, I think that that's similar to the documentary I was just talking about. Because it's like, it's your, you know, and there's similar Star Trek episodes where it's like technology, they don't believe in technology, but the technology could save them. And it's like, oof, you know, like they don't want anything to do with it because it's against their religion. I think don't do that. I've been a part of that with a patient and family, and they let her refuse the transfusion and she died. Ooh. So here's where I think, remember, it's way easier for me to say, it's easier for me to say this from my removed perspective, from where I sit right now. I think they chose not to. The main reason was the consequences after. She then made it and was soiled in the eyes of her friends and family. That is also a very negative effect, but it's a hard call, man. That is this, Pony. That is this, right? Because if we save this Viking cub, you know, if you save the creature in the documentary, then the rest of them won't touch the creature, right? They ostracize the creature, but the creature lives. And then it's about what is life about? What is living? You know, is it enough to simply be alive? Yes. It's the only thing. Presumption that alive is more important than belonging. Well, everything else around being alive is fluid and will change. If you're not alive to experience it, the beautiful part about what we have is the experience, whether it sucks or whether it's good. and it won't always be sucky, right? Hopefully, I guess it's always possible. Holy shit. Okay, here's the thing. If I were a doctor in that case, Pony brings up such a good point of like, if they choose to do it, then she's ostracized from her whole family and culture. My response, because I've thought about, because I've watched all 8 seasons of House, right? I've watched enough medical things that I've had to think about this and go, what would I do? What would I do? And I think from my removed perspective, from my seat, right? I would choose to do the transfusion and save her, because my oath is to do everything I can to save the life of another human. And at the end of the day, you're going to do what you believe and I'm going to do what I believe. And I'm sorry, but like that is probably where I would stand with that. And like, your family may ostracize you, but then you get to experience, you get to find a new family, you get to find new people, you get to experience the one thing that we can never get back. We can't get more time. We can't get, like, I just think I would do the thing. But that sucks, because the kid would probably hate me for it. And the kid might potentially feel soiled, might feel less than, which is horrible. But isn't that also the savior complex? I don't think so, because it's not like I'm... No. Because it's very specific. Well, maybe it is. I don't think anything is super black and white. But I think from the perspective of, I need to do what my my oath was to do, which was to do my very best to save every human life, then I think, I guess I take that very seriously. I'm literally force feeding a foster kitten every few hours right now, and he doesn't understand why I'm doing it, but will die if I don't. Death is forever, and at least I'm trying to give him a chance. Maybe he would find a new family. Exactly, kitten lady. Thank you for doing that, by the way. Fostering is very difficult. That we could also use that example for my most recent cat, Pumpkin, right? I couldn't talk to him. I couldn't communicate to him. I didn't know what he wanted. I didn't know if he wanted to live any longer than he did, I had to make a very tough decision. I don't know if I made the right decision. I don't know. I don't think I will ever have closure on that. But I did my best. Right? Being afraid and wounded doesn't mean the cub isn't about to win this fight, nor do we know it will die. Also, shivering, afraid, and wounded doesn't mean they won't be thankful for the experience after, But this brings you back to your feeling, not the subject's feeling. There have been lots of court cases on this very subject. For which part? The culture or the doctor? The difference in the Pony Punch's doctor scenario for me is that it's a kid. And let me tell you guys, I am really glad my parents weren't allowed to some people made some decisions outside of my parents' wishes when I was growing up. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm sure someone else could say the opposite. It's not there is no like easy win answer, right? Would you say that then if they have a horrible living experience after and then end it, would it still be the right call compared to dying at peace without interfering? Well, that's context I don't get. I have to make the decision now with the context that I have. That is a possibility, but it's equally possible that she ends up having a crazy life, getting married and being like, this was the best thing that ever happened to me. Thank you. Like both. And it's also possible that nothing I can comprehend ends up happening. But it is the possibility of failure, of making a mistake, going to stop me from following what I feel is right in this moment to do. That's, I guess, the thing. Whether religious beliefs can overcome the medical decisions. Oh, whether the religious beliefs of the parents can overcome the medical decisions. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm so glad I'm not in the medical field. I'll say that. You know, I'm very lucky that I don't have to make those crazy decisions like that. I think this is why it does become such a debate, because the likelihood of death requires the doctor to do nothing. But if the doctor does do something with the transfusion, it's guaranteed to do them great social harm, even if it does them great physical good, even if it can be good in the long term. Yeah. I was a registered nurse for over 20 years. It's tough. Yeah, it's incredibly tough. I don't, you know, it's so easy to shit on doctors and stuff, dude. But I cannot imagine living a life where you just like have to give people bad news like all the time, and then also it's like you're not removed from it either. You can be a family doctor from someone for 20 years and then get the fucking, you know, you're having your coffee, you're walking into the goddamn room and you're just like, let me look at your file. Oh fuck, you're gonna die. Like, and you have to feel that too. Obviously it's terrible news for them, but then also you have to do the thing where it's like you have to just give them the news and be removed, because if you are emotional and upset, then it's, you know, it makes it worse for them. There's like just like whole extra things around being in that position that I am like, oh, thank God I don't do that. I'm too empathetic for that, man. I cannot do that. I cannot do that. I have a $50 prediction market. This will be on the screen when Table Story goes live. Okay, I'm gonna respect the culture and leave them. We're doing it. All right.
Something has escaped. Help. I need help. 2 last questions. Fuck. A young Toilgek is in poverty, working long hours for little pay. They are caught stealing from their wealthy director. Do you report them?
No fucking question. Fuck that. Fucking eat the rich. I love how we spent like 2 hours on every other question, and I was like, no, absolutely not. I'm not fucking saying a word. Do they deserve to know the truth? No. Cry about it. Cry about it on your silk pillow, you bitch. Like, I'm no bootlicker. Okay.
I have assessed your responses. I have assessed your history. Your fragments become clearer. Scenario. You have 16 minutes to live. What do you do with your time?
First 2, obviously. Perform a kindness or enjoy the time that I have. But I think my instinct is enjoy the time that I have. And me enjoying the time that I have probably includes... What?
Ew. A formula, a fragment, 1 of 3. Sage. I can't even say this out loud.
Okay.
Commencing Atlas system suit initialization. Life support systems activated. Shield kinetic system online. Aerial propulsion jetpack online.
Okay, okay, hold on. You guys are using...
Multi-tool and mining laser attachment.
Oh my God!
Operational.
Buck teeth, you're so cute!
User initialization sequence.
What
complete.
the fuck do I... What? Okay. Where'd you go, buddy?
Hi, buddy!
Oh my God, you're so cute. I don't think I have any food to offer you. Okay, here we go. Your soul is shattered, and only the sage fragment survives. The boundaries of reality are fading, and a new threat has surfaced. Okay. Okay. I'm green. I'm a sage. People are saying in the chat that there's the option to be royal or a weaver, and I'm feeling instant fucking FOMO. What is a weaver? What is weaver? What is that? Weaver equals rogue, I think. Oh. Me just being like, oh, okay. Not that I don't like rogues. I'm literally playing one, you know? I just, the idea of a rogue. Yeah, I have a feeling you wouldn't want to be a weaver. Yeah, the instant disappointment. Weaver sounds dope, but yeah. I just want you to know that my cat buddy heard you talking about Pumpkin and got up and come over to nuzzle the phone. Oh, Percy. Man, I'm going to very briefly tell you guys something, and then we're going to move on. So I told the story yesterday on stream, but the craziest thing happened where I got a fucking text message from a vet I went to one time, not my regular vet. Okay. But they texted me and were like, it's been a while since your last appointment with Pumpkin. Please schedule, please make time today if you like to do that. And I was like, oh, and it just like sent me, dude. Because I'm dealing with this new rescue, and I really want him to get along, and it's like a lot of energy and stress and low sleep and all this other stuff that's adding up to it. But I had just been dealing with them, kind of fighting and getting each other's faces, and I had to, kind of like put them apart and separate them. And then I get this fucking text, and I'm just like, bleh, and I just like lost it. I'm leaving a voice note, guys. I'm like, I can't hold it in anymore. And I'm just like, I just miss him so much. And then I hear this little, and I'm like, wait, what? And I look down, and new guy, Mac, is like right there looking up at me, and then hops up on the bed, which he doesn't really do. He's still very nervous and will get close to you-ish sometimes, but he doesn't want to be super close. And just laid next to me. First thing he did was he laid kind of by my feet, which is what he normally does. He laid right there, and then I was like losing it on the phone. I'm just like, oh my God, this is so cute. I can't believe this just happened. And then he immediately got up and got closer and was laying like right next to me. And I just went, okay, I need to just calm the fuck down, give it more time. It'll be fine. I just have to, just hope that they're going to get along, It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. It's only been 2 weeks, but it just was definitely a magical moment of like, oh, new cat. Yeah, I'm trying anyway. My last cat, Atlas, he's 14 years old, but he spent his whole life with 2 other cats. Cause I had the other 2 for like 19 years each. And there was no way for me to know I had to make a decision for him. If his behavior, change in behavior was like, because he, misses having a companion or not, et cetera, et cetera. So I decided to try introducing a new cat into the house to see if if I would just like, I think, to see him be able to cuddle another cat before he goes. He also just got like a crazy diagnosis that his time is limited, but I don't know how much. It's like a looming, ominous, could be tomorrow, could be like a year. And I was like, oh, I am not ready for that. So there was like a lot of moralizing and debating where it's like, is this a selfish decision? Like all this stuff, like, but in the end I decided, to try, yeah. Oh, I didn't want to know the Aqua. Get rid of that. That's rude. That's spoiling the fun. If you don't want to be on my team, PB, that's fine. No. I'm happy where I am. I just was like, ooh, what's Weaver? Because it made it seem like, you're the mentalist or house, My friend lost their cat yesterday, and I called the vet today to cancel. Yeah. Anyway, the thing is like, I ended up calling them and was like, hey, you've done this thing. And they were like, we're so sorry. Like, we gotta wait. You watched The Mentalist too? I'm rewatching it right now, Drac. I'm rewatching it and like, I forgot how fucking good this is. I love this show. Dude. It's so good. I feel like nobody I know watched it. Okay, so the first time I watched it, I was so upset by the start of season. This is all I'm going to say, no spoilers. I was so upset by the start of season 4 because I thought the end of season 3 was fucking perfect that I rage did not watch. I think I watched like half of season 4 and was like, ugh! And then I went back recently, like 3 years ago maybe, and watched it all the way through and was like, what the fuck? It's fun. It's great. It's not like as crazy, but like it's solid all the way through. It's still great. I maybe would have rearranged some things. You know? Psych over the Mentalist fight me. I think it was in poor taste that Psych mocked the Mentalist. Personally, and I watched all of Psych as well and really enjoyed it, although I feel like Psych kind of fell off towards the end. But when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's nasty work. Because not only does shit like that happen all the time in Hollywood, but the people that make it didn't make that decision in Hollywood. Some other fucker did. So you're just shitting on their work and their performance for no reason. And also, you're not the first person to do that formula or format, right? And the truth is, they were probably in development at the same time. So I don't know. I just thought that was catty. Okay, we're doing this expedition now, guys. What am I doing? Royal, Sage, and Weaver travelers must work together to face the threat to reality. Okay. Okay, this is what we meant by teams. All right, let's see how badly our team is doing, you guys. We need to locate our starship. Okay. All right. Bam, 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 bam. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. I need to know, I'm having a moment right now where I recognize my own idiocy. And by idiocy, I guess I just mean ridiculous, how ridiculous I am as a human, okay? Do you want to know what just happened? My brain just went, oh, you just proved that you don't want to know that it's a simulation thing, right? Aqua, I adore you so much. You came in with that statement and I was like, what are you doing? I didn't want to know that. That's ruining the fun. Obviously, logically, that makes sense. Of course, that would be the logical way that they would do it. But no, you're spoiling the fun. I didn't want to know that. It's the truth. Did I want to know? Absolutely not. Oh, God. Holy shit, Aqua. Well done. Well done, my dear. Well done. Okay, I said I was sorry. No. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. It also allowed me to laugh about how absurd I am, which I always appreciate. So you're good. You're fine. You didn't. It's all good. Oh, hilarious. I guess I don't want to know if I'm in a simulation. Imagine me saying that to somebody. You know, just like coming out. By the way, God is real. Stop it. You're spoiling my fun. You're in a simulation. Stop it. Okay? You ruined it. You ruined it. Oh, God. I was very confident someone would say that doing the questionnaire, which is much worse. Yeah, I fully agree. I would have been very upset because it's like, you know, all this stuff. It's literally the simulation question, right? Where it's like, you know, does everything that you just experienced matter? Yes, we had an incredible discussion. Some people's minds might have been swayed into a different way that they were thinking before. What the is that? Excuse me? What is that? I mean, we have to go see what that is, right? Something terrible hangs in the sky. Select the fragmented milestone to start your journey. Peebs, you've literally done how many expeditions? And focus. Focus. Your team needs you. That's no moon. I still can't believe I said Star Wars instead of Star Trek, guys. Kill me. All right. Oh my God. My brain was thinking about something else. Is it just me, or others have this feeling with expeditions? Just do the quest line and be gone is the way. What other things to do during the expedition? Just experience it, the story. I mean, it's not... I'm excited to see what they have. Units received is my bit alert. So now I have a Pavlovian response every time I hear it in the wild. The Klingons in Star Wars. Listen, okay? All right? God damn you. Oh, look!
Units received.
More of these guys. Okay. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. It's in a book. Okay. I find myself alone on a strange world, unequipped and in danger. I have a hazy memory of this ship, a shaky sense of before, but something is changed. I am changed.
Iteration 239482908492492492492. Fragmented. Launch thrusters locked. Unfragmented pilot signature required to grant access.
As I touch the dashboard, my fingertips sink into something moist. A sticky substance oozes over my hand. Its coppery smell clings to my throat, my nostrils. Where did this come from? I press deeper into the muck, activating the ship's logs.
Okay. In the sky, followed me through, tried to save a piece of me. Too late.
Yeah, get out, get out. Those of you who are going to go and do it, go for it. The Gannett. Hello, Pumpkinberry. I'm with the Nerd Authority Board, NABS, and due to your recent comments and confusion regarding Star Wars and Star Trek, we have been forced to revoke your nerd credentials. Please turn them into your local NAB's office by the end of the day. Thank you. Fucking pin it. Pin it. The apparition wails and fades into static. 3 fragments of data remain, shimmering in a sea of white noise. 3, guys. 3. Power of 3. Let's go. Royal Echo, Sage Echo, and Weaver Echo. Okay. Oh, I need to turn the music back on. Music. I think we keep it around 60 or 70. I can't remember. Can't pin highlighted messages. Oh no. Hey, B! I adore and love you as well. How are you? Okay. Oh, it's green as well. Cool. All right, let's get this reward. Was thinking about you yesterday. Oh my god. Really? Okay. Well, hold on. Can I install this? Yes. Is this a mining beam? Okay, mining beam. And this is a... Guys, are we gonna get a multi-tool that's got 4 stack again? How lucky we are. I don't think you need the terrain manipulator to be supercharged. I think I'd rather supercharge the scanner, to be honest. Okay. Just go through the story, peeps. I will. It's not. I'll do it. I'm talking my thought process out loud because that's what streamers do. If I was just quiet the whole time, you wouldn't know what's going on in my brain. Don't tell me what to do. PB just said I will. Well, of course I'm going to go through the story. I'm playing the game. Oh, yes. I keep forgetting you are. Oh, God. Okay. Now, I'm going to install this as well. Listen, okay, I'm a rambler. All right? I'm a rambler. I'm a rambling. Ooh, I will move some of these around as well. I think this doesn't need to be near the shield. This doesn't need to be near anything either. So I'll put life support in a supercharged slot. That looks good to me. Okay. What else do we have in our inventory? That's it. And we need ferrite and a bunch of stuff. So, okay. I'm not gonna take the additional upgrades though. I'm not gonna use those. Professional waffler, yeah. I keep hitting the wrong button. Okay, we want to create the soul fragments. We need the Royal Echo. But we're Sage, dang it. Okay. To live. Let's see. Royal, we need... Alright, chromatic metal. Glass. Do we have anything that we don't have a refiner or anything? So we're going to need a personal refiner. However, we do have... I believe I just saw some, didn't I? That crazy thing in the sky is wild. We're going to get these living fragments here. Oh my god! What the heck? What is happening? Chris, thank you so much. Is this an accident? Yes, Doonan. Yes, Doonan. I would say there's a strong possibility. I would love nothing more than to do like a sponsored thing with them. Because Whack would die. Dungeon Crawler Carl, I think, Bardis. I love PB's first responses. Is this an accident? Well, yeah, because it's, because it's 500 multiple times. I was like, oh no, is this a glitch? Like, did you hit something and then it did it like 5 times or something? Thank you. My God. I'm malfunctioning. What is happening to you? Thank you. Oh, I know why you're doing it. Because you know I can't. Because you don't want me doing the math. Carry on with the game. Listen, thank you very much. Thank you very, very, very much. Stop! I don't even have the alerts on yet. Are they going? Because we just switched to 2 PC setup. Ah, thank you. Nope. Oh, God. Thank you. Fun fact, Table Stories live. What, already? Guys, we didn't even start the Expedite week. We talked the whole time. We talked the whole time about philosophy, and I loved every second of it. All right, well, at least now you guys know what team I'm on, right? Expected. Fair enough. That's why we're here, right? I love the conversation. It definitely made me... It's actually a good stopping point. Yes, I agree. Also, look at me. I look ridiculous. I'm gonna change my look, but I'll stay green. You're on Team Simulation? I'm on Team Sage. Good job. That question about the thieving Gek was so cut and dry. Yeah, I guess for me, I know there are people out there that... Real quick, do you want me to do the math? No. Don't tell me I'm in a simulation! Don't tell me the truth. I can't handle it. In that case, it was 500 bits. Yep. I love how I so confidently was like, I would want to know the truth. I would want to know that I was in a simulation. And then smash cut to immediately after this being like, no, don't tell me that. No, don't tell me that. No, I can't handle that. Oh, God. Oh, what's the next bit tier anyway? We're rating Table Story, everyone. Not happening. You're getting laid off. I'm stopping you before you hurt yourself. Thanks for an absolutely lovely stream. Thank you everyone for hanging out. I really enjoyed the philosophical conversation. If you want to post what team you're on in the Discord, hey Ecto, please just put it behind a spoiler because some people might not know, but I do want to know what team you guys are on. Jesus Christ. Twitch buzz killing. Wow. Martis, I don't know if that's buzz killing so much as like, you know, telling you the truth, reminding you, like maybe don't do that. Thanks for the stream, Team Sage for the win. Yes, I'm also Sage. Yay. Cool. That's so exciting. Okay, we're rating. It's happening. I will see you guys in just a moment over on Table Story, where we have I almost said who the guest was. We have a surprise guest GM who's going to GM me, Brad, and Whack the first time. You're going to love it. I'm going to love it. It's going to be great. You don't want to know. I'm not going to tell you the truth because we've clearly learned that we can't handle it. Okay, bye. I'll see you tomorrow for Wayward. Or Monday for more of this.